NRI का जो strength है आपका तमारो, तो what are the specific, let's say if I ask you, I चार चीज, these are the four things that NRI should keep in mind. Like you already said interest rates, but that's something which we cannot, it's not in our control.
Of course.
પણ એ લોકોના કંટ્રોલમાં શું છે? What are those 4 to 5 things like taxation છે? What are the things you advise them કે આ ચાર ચીજ પાંચ ચીજ આપણે લાઈનમાં રહેવી જોઈએ?
So before buying, of course, shortlist a good developer, which is now it is prerequisite RERA approved project होना चाहिए. The second thing would be as an NRI, how comfortable you are at buying at what stage of which developer. Sometimes your trust is not 100%, but project is nearing completion, then you go for it. It's okay unless all the documents are there. Now on the RERA, right from your sale deed ka draft copy, the title certificates, everything you can verify. Earlier it was a pain, then you need to approach a bank. Second thing, if you are not sure about your cash flows and you think that you will get a loan as a NRI, then go to bank first before committing a developer, because sometimes in some countries, where I know in some African countries, there is an issue of getting enough and adequate loans also. If you are a working professional, then you get, but if you are a businessman, you don't get.
You don't get only straight away?
No, you don't get. There are many countries like East Africa, Kenya also, because the reason for not getting a
collateral
loan is...
નથી.
No. So collateral to છે. When he is buying a property in India, that's a collateral. If I am an NRI buying a property in India, that's
regular
a
income નું કઈ નહીં હશે proof?
No, એ પણ છે. But in case if there is a default, the bank guy is in some countries of Africa and other countries where it is difficult to for the collection team to go and collect the money, because he is not traceable. So because of the region, some regions in Africa and all.
Understood.
So that's a reason businessmen don't get. And businessmen income is never sure, right? Sometimes it is less, sometimes more. You bank will go by only past 3 years of IT returns, but what about the past and the future, we don't know. So that's a reason. So go to bank first, verify your papers.
Any 2 to 3 banks you recommend which are pro NRI friendly?
Bank of Baroda is, of course, Bank of Baroda is a not only branch, but their bank presence is in UAE, then East Africa. Most of the countries, Bank of Baroda has highest presence in the...
I thought you would say State Bank, but I'm very...
No, Bank of Baroda is highest numbers. We work, in fact, Bank of Baroda invited us back in 2019 to do a property show with them. And all the developers had participated with us. Yes, in Kenya, in Nairobi. So I know Bank of Baroda, followed by SBI, Nationalize, and then Standard Chartered also has a very good presence across the world. So those are the banks. And post that, if someone tells you that on the rental income you will not have to pay tax and all, but that's nonsense. One has to pay income tax, and there is a flat 30% tax.
You have to pay the tax on rental income in India or in the country where they are?
No, in India, because the rentals are generated in India. And there is a flat 30% TDS deduction on the rent. So someone tells you that...
ouch, I should say.
But that's TDS. So you file your return and then take
Pachi
male. But someone tells you कि नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, तो don't go into the wrong sentiments. You have to pay 30%. That is for sure. Return of taxes filing is very crucial. So if you have not paid the tax in India anytime before, be ready with the team of the CA or your CA association in India, where you have to hire someone to file all those returns regularly. Because the day you buy the property, you will be in the lens of everyone. All the government bodies, and then whether you have shown income earlier in NRE is non-taxable. But because the rentals and the sale proceeding will happen from the NRO account, which is treated as an Indian resident account, so all the tax liability which is there on the Indian resident, the same applies to you.
Okay. What's the main difference between NRO and NRE?
NRE is the account where NRIs have privilege to open that account. NRE.
It's a non-resident external, right?
External, yes. In which if you can, as a NRI, you can have FDs and all under NRE only, which is non-taxable in India, because you are paying tax in your own country. But when it comes to buying a property or any other investments like mutual fund, the money would actually go from NRO. So when the returns come, the profit, it is taxed like a normal resident Indian.
Whatever is applicable to us, it's
it's all to them. Yes.
So fixed deposits money will not be taxed.
If it is from NRE account.
If it is from NRE.
Even the mutual funds, if you invested in dollar bonds and other bonds from NRE, it is safe. But the day right now we are talking about property. So property can only be purchased or sold through NRO.
NRO only.
Which is taxable.
Beautiful. That's insightful. Very nice.